Hello all, welcome to the SOLIDWORKS tutorials. In this video I am going to show you how to draw the parts and assembly of the non-return valve. So in non-return valve there are 6 parts. Part number 1 is body and 2 is a cover plate, 3 is a valve seat and 4 is valve, then 5 is a stud and 6 is a set screw. So first I am going to start from the body, that is part number 1. So here I am going to draw this section and I am going to revolve this. So here this is an added section, so you can see here. So initially I am going to neglect this extrude and I am going to consider this as a straight line and I am going to model it. So in the last stage we can draw this extrude. So open SolidWorks and create a new part. So select the front plane, click sketch and draw the profile of the cross section. So roughly draw the profile. Now go to smart dimensions and mark the dimensions. So the inner radius, the diameter is given as 90, so it is radius is 90 by 2 and the outer radius is 100. Then the radius of this section is 50. Then this region is 126 in diameter, so 126 by 2. Then this region is 120 by 2. Then this outer diameter is 190 divided by 2. Then the thickness of this area is 12 and the height of this region is given as 20. Then the height of this area. To mark the height of this region, I am going to draw a center line and the dimension of the center line from this edge is given as 50. Okay, so you can drag here and you can mark the dimension of this edge. So the dimension of this edge is given as 20 and the dimension of this region is given as 6 mm. Now from this center line, the bottom edge is at a distance of 140. Okay. Then the height of this region is given as 47. And from the center point, you can see that from the center point, this edge is at a radius of 45 and we have a 7 mm here. So it is 45 minus 7. So go to smart dimension, click these two edges and it is 45 minus 7. Now the thickness of this area is 12. Similarly here also the thickness is 12 mm. So this diagram is not fully defined, but we have marked all the dimension. To verify that, you can click any one of the point and you can drag it. So here you can see that this line is not in vertical, so you can click this line and make it as vertical. Now it is fully constrained. So to create the revolve, I am going to draw a center line. Now go to features click revolve boss and revolve about this center line. Then click OK. Now I'm going to mark create the fillet. Actually fillet radius is not given, so I'm going to consider a fillet radius of 3 mm. Sorry, the radius is 3 mm and I'm going to create the fillet. At these regions. Click OK. Now I have created the fillets. Next I am going to draw the left side profile. For that I am going to create a plane. So go to reference geometry, create plane, and my first reference is my front plane, and from the front plane I am going to create another plane at a distance of 140 mm. So I have created it. Now you can select this plane, click sketch and draw a circle of diameter 120 mm and the diameter is 200 mm and it is at a height of 140 mm from the bottom. Now it is not fully defined, so click Control, click the center point and the origin and make it as vertical. Then go to features, click extruded bars and extrude this to a distance of 20 mm. So change the direction, then click OK. Now select this surface, click sketch and draw another circle of diameter. So the inner diameter is 90 and each side it has 12 mm thickness. Select Control, select these two circles and make it as concentric. Then go to features, click extruded bars and extrude this up to this surface. Click OK. Next I am going to create the hole. Select the surface, click sketch and draw a circle of diameter 90 mm. Select Control, click these two circles and make it as concentric. Now go to features, click extruded cut and select up to this surface. Then click OK. Next go to fillet. Then select these edges and create the fillet, the radius of 3 mm. Now I have created the fillet. So if you want, you can hide this plane. Next I am going to create the bolt hole. So draw a circle, that is your pitch circle, then draw a bolt circle. The pitch circle diameter is given as 150 and the hole diameter is given as 16 mm. Select this line and click for construction. Now go to features, click extruded cut and extrude this to a height of 20 mm. Next I am going to create the thread. Go to thread. So select the edge, initial edge, then select the starting face of the thread and the ending face of the thread. And select extrude thread and trim with the start face and trim with the end face. Next I am going to create the pattern. So go to circular pattern and feature, select the cut extrude and the thread and the direction, select any one of the circular section and the number of entities are 6. Okay. So now I have created the threads. So finally I am going to create the extrude here. So for that, select the right plane, click sketch and draw a rectangle. So this is actually the center of the circle. So it is at a height of 80 mm from the bottom, and the radius is 12.5. Then the extrude distance is 3 mm. Click OK. Now go to features, click revolve boss and select the center axis, then click OK. So you can verify that. Now select the surface, click sketch and draw a hole. So the radius of the hole, the diameter is 10 mm because it is M10 bolt. Go to feature, click extrude cut and select up to this surface. Click OK. Next I am going to create the thread. Go to thread. So select the starting face, starting edge, then starting face. Then the end condition, select blind, and the set screw height is given as 28 mm. So click 28 and click extrude thread. So this is M10. The pitch is not specified, so I have considered 1.5 and click trim with the start face and trim with the end face. Now we have created the thread. So the material of the body is given as brass. So right click on the material and select brass. So save this component in a separate folder. The part number is 1. Next I am going to draw the second part, that is cover plate. So select the front plane, click sketch and draw the right side profile. So we are going to revolve it. So go to smart dimension. So the radius is 10 because the diameter is 20. Then this distance is 25 by 2. Then this radius is 120 by 2. Then the overall diameter is 190, so it is 190 by 2. Then here it is 100 by 2. The overall height is given as 38. The height of this region is 20 mm. So the height of this region is not directly given, so it is given in the first part, it is 6 mm. So this height is 6 mm and I am going to consider a height of 6 mm for this section. Go to features, click revolved boss and select the center line, then click OK. So now I am going to create the fillet. Select fillet. As I said earlier, I am going to create the fillets for 3 mm radius. So select these two edges and create a fillet for 3 mm radius. Now select this edge, click sketch and draw a pitch circle and the whole circle. So the pitch circle diameter from the first part we can take it as 150 mm and the whole diameter is 16. Then select this circle and click for construction. Now go to features, click extruded cut and extrude this up to the surface. Now go to circular pattern, select the feature and any one of the circle as the direction. Now number of entities are 6. Now the material is given. This is also made of brass. Save it as part number 2. Then close this. Create a new part. Select the front plane. So here also we are going to revolve this. So draw the right side profile of part number 3. And mark all the dimensions. So the inner radius is 90 by 2. Outer radius is 100 by 2. And the top radius is 112 by 2. Next, the height of this section is 45. And here it is 6 mm. So click Control, select these 2 points and make it as horizontal. Now it is fully constrained. Go to features. Before that, create a center line to make the revolve. Go to features, click revolved boss, then click OK. Now create the chamfer here with an angle of 45 mm and the distance is given as 3 mm. Next we have to create a slot for set screw end. For that I am going to select the front plane, click sketch and I am going to draw a triangle here because I am going to revolve this about this axis and the depth of the triangle, so it is actually not given, so I am going to consider as 3 mm. The height is the radius of the set screw. The diameter of the set screw is 10, so the radius is 5 and it is at a height of 22 from the top edge. Go to features, click revolved cut and select the center axis, then click OK. Now we have created the cut. Next, the material. So the material of the valve seat is given as bronze. So right click on that, select edit material. So go to copper alloys and I am going to select commercial bronze. Click apply and click close. Now save this as part number 3. Create a new part. So here also we are going to revolve this. So select the front plane, click sketch and draw the outside profile. Then select the 3-point arc and create an arc. So mark the dimensions. So this height is given as 7 mm and this height is 5 mm. Then the height of this region is 25. Then the radius of this curve is given as 100 mm. So you can click and drag it here. And the radius of this region is 12.5. Then the overall radius is 90 by 245. Create a center line to mark the angle. So go to smart dimension, and this inclination is 45 mm. And click Control, select these 2 points and make it as vertical. So it is not fully defined because the dimension of this height is not given. So I'm going to mark 10 mm roughly so that drawing will be fully defined. Then complete the drawing. Now go to Features, click Revolved Boss, and so this is not line 5. You can click and delete it, and you can select this line. Okay. Now select this section, click Sketch, and create 2 center rectangles. So the thickness of this rectangle is 8 mm, and the diameter is given, so 90 mm in each direction. Okay, so go to Trim Entities and trim the unwanted sections. Go to Features, click Extruded Bars, and extrude this to a height of 48 mm. Next, I am going to create a chamfer here. So select the edge carefully. So one edge is missed here, so you can edit the feature and you can reselect it. Okay, so now the material of the valve is also brass. So right click on that and select brass. Save, and the part number is 4. So you can close it. Next, part number 5, that is stud with a nut. So select top plane, click Sketch, and select Polygon, and create a hexagon. So the diameter is not given, but it is M16, so I am providing 16 plus 10, 26. Go to Feature, click Extruded Bars, and the extrude height is 20 mm. So this is also not given, so I have assumed a height of 20 mm. Next, I am going to create a fillet here. So we are creating fillet for 3 mm. You can select it. Then you can select this section, click Sketch, and draw a circle of diameter 16 mm. Then extrude this. So the overall height is 60 mm. So we have already created 20 mm. So the remaining height is 40. Next, we are going to create the thread. Go to Thread, select the starting edge, then starting face is already selected, and select blind, and the thread height is given as 20 mm. So here we are going to cut the thread. Click OK. So I am once again verifying the bolt size. So this is M16. Okay. Now the material is mild steel. I am selecting plain carbon steel. Then save it as part number 5. Next is part number 6, that is set screw. So select the front plane and draw the right side profile. Go to smart dimension. The radius is 5 mm. And this height we have already specified as 3 mm. Then the remaining height from the top to this region is 28. Click OK. Go to features. Click revolve boss. Select the center axis and click OK. Then select the surface. Click edge and draw a hexagon for a diameter of, this is M10, so I am creating 20 mm diameter. Then go to features, click extruded boss. Then I am going to extrude this for a 5 mm height. Okay, next we can create the fillet if we want. So create the fillet for 3 mm. Next I am going to create the thread. So select thread. Select the starting edge. So this is M10. And blind up to 28 mm. Okay, so it is metric thread with M10. Click OK. Okay, now we have created the set screw. Apply the material, right click on that and select plain carbon steel. Then I am saving it as part number 6. Next I am going to assemble it, create a new assembly. So I am going to begin with component number 1 and you can rotate it. Then I am going to insert part number 3. So go to mate, select these two edges and make it as coincident. Then select these two surfaces and make it as concentric with lock rotation. So you can verify the set screw end here. Click OK. Next I am going to insert the part number 4. So go to mate, select these two surfaces and make it as concentric. So to move this, select and drag it. Now go to mate and select these two surfaces and make it as coincident. Next go to insert component. Now insert the plate. Go to mate, select this edge and the hole and make it as concentric. Then click OK. Then select the next edge and the next hole and make it as concentric. Click OK. Now select these two edges and make it as coincident. Next I am going to insert part number 5. Go to mate, select this surface and make it as concentric with lock rotation. Then select this edge and make it as coincident. Next I am going to pattern this. Go to circular pattern, components to pattern, select the component number 5 and direction, select the surface, select this edge, and number of entities are 6. Click OK. So finally I am going to insert the set screw, that is component number 6. So you can change the direction, then go to mate, select these two edges and make it as concentric. Then select these two surfaces and make it as coincident. Now we have created the final assembly. Okay, so you can view that. So we have all the components assembled in it. Thank you.